Good morning, church family.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good to see everybody. Welcome to worship. My favorite morning of the week to be with you all and be able to share in this a rich time. Um, Today we have a really special treat. We get to have my favorite musician lead us in worship. Um, I've known Pete Mayer for about 10 years now. He and I got together several times when I was at St. Luke, having him come and worship. Um, when the name Pete Mayer comes up in musical services, circles rather, there's usually a debate that goes around about his greatest gift. Some say, oh, I think it's his ability as a lyricist. His lyrics are unbelievable. Others say, no, I love his work with the guitar. I think that rises to the top for me. And others say, no, I think it's the composing and what he does with the music and the different aspects of music. And others just say it's his voice. It's what his voice does with these words is remarkable. He is all of these things for me and for many people who have been drawn to his music and been ministered to by his music in times which are not always so hopeful or which emphasize things that are not beautiful. Pete's music has a way of healing and grounding us in the great mystery of creation. Um, so when I think of him, I always think, first of all, of the delight and wonder of creation. And Tessa, if you'll show the cover, that kind of image is what comes to mind from Pete's music, filled with wonder about the mystery of life. And then the centering thought, which is part of one of the songs you will hear today from a song called Blue Boat Home. I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. So, Pete, welcome. We are so glad to have you here. Hope everybody will make sure that you are on speaker view during the singing so you can get the full effect of his gift. Pete and I will be in a few moments dialoguing about some of the music that he's going to sing. And I also wanted to alert you that there'll be a time after worship if any of you would like to say your words of thanks or ask Pete any questions about his music and his career or the meaning of any of his music. We'll be able to do that after worship. So, Pete, we're going to ask you now to open our worship with a centering time, with a centering music.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Gwen, and it's so nice to be with y'all. I'm honored to be here. So this first song is inspired by a moving meditation that somebody taught to me years ago, and a meditation that sometimes I do when I step out into the morning, into the day. And I'd like to just, I want to just show you the very simple gestures. Please don't feel like you have to do them while I'm singing the song at all. It may be too distracting for you. However, I just wanted to explain where this song comes from and if at some point you like to use these gestures. So it begins, hands open to the day. I often do this. Oh, I shouldn't even mention this because I don't think you all should stand up. But, I step out into the day standing, greeting the day. Hands open to the day. Breathe in. There's a lot of breathing in and out during this meditation. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in. Breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky. Then circling around down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light. Hands branches catching rain. Breathe in, breathe out. Then rising like a stalk of grain, and here you just slowly bring your hands up again. Breathe in, breathe out. And then arms reaching to the sky where they already are, then circling around down to the earth again. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. And then we begin where we end where we began. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. That's the whole thing. I've enjoyed knowing that, and sometimes, like I say, when I have time, it's just a great way to begin the day. So I'll sing you the song that accompanies that. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky, then circling around down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands, branches catching rain. Breathe in, breathe out. Then rising like a stalk of grain. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky, then circling around down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Now let us join in the call to worship. These words are taken from the lyrics from the song Morning, which Peter will be playing for us later. Let us worship God. See how the night is over. The dew is on the clover. The first light in the sky is forming. No foe am I afraid of. no force, for I am made of the same light that made the morning. Let us now share in the peace of Christ. The peace of Christ be with you and also with you. Let us share in the peace of Christ. So thank you, Pete, for getting us grounded and filling our lungs with that holy wind. This first song, I'd like to say leading into it and see if Peter wants to add anything. He has found it most congruent and true in his spiritual life to speak of ultimate reality as mystery, which I love. So he and I, in these songs, are going to explore this reality through some brief dialogue in his music. Pete, in our spiritual journey, we yearn to touch and be touched by the holy, which is sometimes really hard to find the sacred in this life. It can seem all around us so profane as opposed to sacred. Yet, we sense that the mystery is always there, waiting to break in upon us. And this, one of your, I think I would say, and maybe you can say if this is true, one of your most beloved songs by your listeners is Holy Now. And I don't know if you want to say anything else about leading into it.
Well, thank you, Gwen. Yes. Well, I grew up Catholic, and I remember being an altar boy, and we were taught to handle certain objects with the utmost of care because they were said to contain divine presence in a special way. And so I remember that feeling of handling objects, holy objects, sacred objects. And as I grew older, I began to see life itself and the world around us, the things that bring us life as sacred, you know. And because the more I learned about the wonders of life and how amazing it is that we're even here, I guess, it seemed that way to me. And so that idea of the sacred felt more expansive to me. And I remember that care that we took with those objects. And I think part of the idea of calling each other holy, calling the world holy, isn't just because it contains, because it's worthy of it, but also because I think it changes us. It kind of helps us to treat each other perhaps with more care and treat the earth that sustains us with that special care. So anyway, this is called Holy Now. When I was a boy, each week, Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Read the questioning child's face, say it's not a testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. Used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Thank you, Pete. It does. It seems like the mystery is always there, Pete. You're right. Always waiting to surprise us or greet us. And I thought about that image of how the love is present and the mystery is love. We're taught God is love and love is God and mystery is love. And it made me think of the song Stables that you're going to sing for us now. And maybe you could tell us a little about that song.
Yes, well, Stables is I made an album a few years ago for the winter season and Christmas and solstice and such, and this song is on there because it uses the image of the birth of Jesus in the stable, the way the story goes. And so in the song, the stable becomes the place waiting for love to come. And I think of those songs of the 60s, or, love is the answer, and, come on, people, smile on your brother and sister. Let's love one another. And wow, I think that is just, it's still the answer. I think love is still the answer. It's easy to say and hard to do. And so anyway, this song uses this metaphor of the stable to talk about love. In Bethlehem a manger waits, long ago and so today, where hatred-weary people pray, love will come and lay there. so do countless stables stand in hearts as harsh as desert lands, rough shelters in the wind and sand, so love will come and stay there. Love that opens fists of hate, heaps up gold on beggars' plates. Love that shows a kindly face to enemies and strangers. And the walls of stables tremble so when the winds of fear and judgment blow. For a stable hopes in love alone, and knows it loves the answer. Oh, love, the prophet's only word, the only lesson left to learn, the only end of heaven's work, and the only road that goes there. Love that sees with mercy's eyes, holds its arms out open wide, threads its loom with separate lives, and weaves them all together. So may the lamps of stables glow brightly, that their light may go for miles in the darkness so. Love will find its way.
Oh, thank you, Pete. Oh,
Thank you.
helps me get with this Jesus story, the Christmas story, in such a beautiful way. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Pete, I told you that in this church we have a deep commitment to share that love that you're singing about, especially with those who are poor and those who are powerless and hurting. And you have a song called Justice Choir that um, helps give that message. And I'd like for you to share that with us.
So this song, yes, is called Justice Choir, and I have to give credit to my friend Abby Bettinas, who's a wonderful songwriter, composer. She created something, an online service called justicechoir.org, I think it is, or .com, I'm not sure. And this is a place she invited people to write songs about justice and peace. She went to a march a few years ago, and I think it was the Women's March. And she said it was wonderful, except where was the singing? Where was the songs, you know? And so she thought, gee, we need songs for that kind of event. Music is so important. So she invited folks to write songs. And so I wrote this song for that organization. And I should say that the metaphor of a choir is a beautiful one, I think, because we all want to see good change happen in the world, but we're only one voice, of course. If we join together like this, we can effect greater change together. And so that's the idea of this song. Let's help change the world for the better and try to do it together. So, and this is just an a cappella marching song. It's kind of meant to be a marching song. So I'll just keep a beat on my guitar for you on this song. All right, let's see. If you want to shout, want to right some wrong, you can sing about it in a righteous song. And if you want a way to raise your voice up higher, you can be a singer in the justice choir. If you are a citizen heavy of heart, you can take a tenor or an alto part. You can be a flame in a great big fire. You can be a singer in the justice choir. And sing out, make a better world, make a sound wave like a flag unfurled. Sing out like a liberty bell, ring out the truth you tell. Sing out, make it be known, sing like the trumpets of Jericho. Sing out at the tyrant's wall, sing until the last brick falls. Sing about courage in the face of fear. Sing about light when the darkness nears. Sing about truth to the shameless liar. Sing about freedom in the justice choir. Sing about the weak in the halls of power. Sing about the earth in a desperate hour. Sing about the poor when the rich conspire. Sing about love in the justice choir. Sing out, make a better world, make a sound wave like a flag unfurled. Sing out like a liberty bell, ring out the truth you tell. Sing out, make it be known, sing like the trumpets of Jericho. Sing out at the tyrant's wall, sing until the last brick falls. If you want to shout, want to right some wrong, you can sing about it in a righteous song. And if you want a way to raise your voice up higher, you can be a singer in the justice choir.
I love that one. Oh, boy.
Thank you.
That is great. So, Pete, one thing that's going on that vexes us here in this congregation, and I think in every congregation, we who are called to include people and love people and draw people in, see around us division, enmity in the world, separateness, and which we believe is the exact opposite of what God mystery wants, that we're all siblings. And I know your song, Everybody In, has some of that same energy and thought. So we'd love to hear that.
Yeah, thank you, Gwen. Yes, well, yeah, it kind of gets back to the love thing, like easy to say and hard to do. And I think it is with inclusiveness and making sure that everybody is invited in. I think one of the aspects of our heritage as human beings is that we're tribal by nature, and I think that groups, whether they're neighborhoods or churches or whatever, can sometimes cultivate that tribal nature of ours, where we are a we they people, and that and it's ironic because churches and religion often talks about loving one another, but also it gets pretty cliquey and pretty exclusive, and so I think we need to constantly fight against this aspect of our nature. We all, I think, have that tendency, and it's hard. Again, it's hard work to say, come on in and be present and attentive and loving to whomever comes to the door or whatever. And so, so it's if there's anything that the last few years have taught me, the politics of the day, is that we can't just sit. We have to constantly be actively loving actively reaching out, because it doesn't just happen. It only happens with our efforts, I think. And so, and I should have been tuning when I was talking there, because I was warning Gwen that I may be having to tune, and I think this is one of those moments. And so
It's a tuning moment.
It's a tuning moment, and I mentioned before the service that I often invite people to think of tuning time as time for meditation. That way you can enjoy the notes, and perhaps when you get used to the tuning, perhaps you feel sad when it's no longer there, you know. That's the thing about the guitar. It makes you wish I played the piano again, but I don't have to tune that. Okay. This song does have a part for you all if you like to join in to sing on. It's the chorus of the song. I'll teach it to you. It goes, let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle, everybody, 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 everybody in to the circle, circle. Now, unfortunately, I didn't leave a lot of room in this song for breathing. It's just the opposite of the first song. So you have to find those ways to breathe, because there's so many words crammed into the chorus there. But anyway, I trust you'll find a way. Okay, so here we go. Jesus spoke, entreating them to live together in a great circle of love. And when his followers asked him then who should be included, Jesus said, let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle, everybody, 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 everybody in to the circle, circle. Oligarchs and tyrants try to keep some in and everyone else outside, till revolution sweeps across the land and the people all stand and the common folk cry, let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle, everybody, 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 everybody in to the circle, circle. Sometimes a circle is a class or creed. Sometimes a circle is made of only men. Until Susan B. Anthony says, what about me? Let me in, let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody in the circle, circle. Sometimes a circle is a privileged thing, excluding people for the color of their skin. Till the voice of Martin Luther King says, let freedom ring, let them in, let everybody in, everybody in, everybody in to the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody in to the circle, circle. Gay and straight, rich and poor, whole and broken, open up that door. The more we are, the greater we become. After all, we all are one. Bring in the people, but don't stop there. Bring in the fish in the sea, birds in the air. Bring in the rivers wide and the mountains tall. We go together, not at all. Let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody in to the circle, circle. Everybody, everybody. everybody in the circle, circle, everybody, 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 everybody in the circle, circle.
Woo! Everybody in. I love it, Pete. Oh, thank you.
Thanks for singing on that one.
Oh, man. How could you not? So, this next song, I just have to tell a little story to the congregation. When I went to St. Luke, it was a church that was known for social justice ministry, a lot of the work with the poor. And one thing it wasn't doing a lot of was paying attention to issues around global warming and climate change. And it was one of my efforts while I was at that church to make that a focal point of our faith. And my last Sunday, after we had the service in the church, inside the church, and it was very nice and lots of nice things said, and I had a sermon. But for the benediction, we went out under a burl oak, a beautiful burl oak on the campus. And I had this song that Pete's getting ready to sing printed. And I had some musicians out to play the tune. And for my last act as the pastor at St. Luke Church, we sang Blue Boat Home. And it's dear and near to my heart and many people's heart. And I love you, Pete Mayer, for writing it. And thank you for singing it now.
Oh, thank you, Gwen. I'm honored by that. And I remember that moment well. And I'm glad it wasn't your retirement entirely. I'm glad you're still gifting us with your wonderful gifts, your presence. So thank you. So I like to set this song up by by saying, well, first of all, I can't take credit for the hymn. This is an old hymn that I just put new words to, a hymn called Heiferdal, written by Roland Pritchard in the 1850s. So it's been around with us for a long time. And so, but one thing that amazes me about our story as human beings is that for the vast majority of our time on Earth, we didn't know that we were on a planet, nor really what that is. What is a planet? So we have painstakingly millions of careful observers through the centuries have pieced together and are still piecing together the story of reality. You know, what is the nature of this place? What is the nature of our home, our Earth home? And at first, we didn't want to hear it. Many of us didn't want to hear that we are on a planet because it challenged our worldview and our notions of reality, our faith life, our understanding of the world. And so now we know this and we take it for granted, but it is relatively recent news, and it's still not intuitive. And I think that's why it took us so long to figure it out. It's not an intuitive thing. Yeah, of course we're on a planet. It's like we don't feel our Earth moving, and for a long time we just figured the sky was moving around us. And but now we know for sure that that's not the case. We are the ones doing the moving, and we're moving fast. We're moving at about 900 miles an hour together right now around the axis of the Earth, always and forever moving, always and forever moving. And not only that, but we are hurtling around our sun, which makes, of course, a year. And every time we count another year to our lives, we have added something like, I need to learn this number, but it's over, I think, well, it's many millions of miles that we have traveled through space around our star. And amazing. It's an amazing thing, isn't it?
It is.
And our days and our nights are all governed, are all set. Our understanding of life is all set by these motions and this star that we are living near, source of our life, this star, the sun. And so here's a song that uses a metaphor of a boat. We're all on a boat together in the mysterious sea, traveling together. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. My blue boat home.
Oh, Peter, every time I hear it, I actually feel like I'm out in space and looking over the edge in wonder. Thank you so much. You know, congregation, this was ridiculously hard and unfair for me to try to pick the songs that I wanted him to play because there's so many that I love of his. So these 6 we've done here, as well as the opening, and he's going to have the closing in a moment, one of his beautiful songs, What If Love. But this song, Pete, really talks about, doesn't it, the beginning, the generation in the mystery, the oneness in creation, this song called The Morning.
Yes, well, let me back up a little by saying, kind of like Blue Boat Home, one of my interests is to take some of these things that we've learned about the world, like the fact that we're on a planet, and try to, because even though it's something that we know intellectually, it's not, as I had mentioned, something that's intuitive, nor is it necessarily something that we're oriented toward, because it's such a huge reality, and in some ways an abstract reality as it relates to our daily lives. And so I think that the story of who we are, like the fact that we're on a planet, hopefully we can find ways for it to sort of sink into our being, and I think that's where spirituality and religion comes in. Spiritual practice that sort of whereby we remind ourselves of these immensities around us, and that's part of who we are. That's where we come from. Without the sun, without the motions of our planet, we wouldn't be here. No question about it. And so how do we build our spirituality on these truths? It's not easy, because it's not necessarily, again, our nature. We are creatures of evolution that gives us this drive to just survive, and it doesn't always make room for these complexities that we're learning. So anyway, the reason I mention that is because this next song is also inspired by something we didn't always know. One of the things is that the atoms of our bodies, the stuff that we're made out of, the atoms that the earth is made out of, molecules come together and dissolve and come together and dissolve. Atoms, though, are much more durable. Atoms are the stuff that molecules are made out of. And most atoms in our body that we are made out of come from, we have discovered this, supernova explosions. This is a crazy thing when you think about it. But that scientists, when they discovered the Big Bang theory and found all this sorts of evidence for it, but they were perplexed because in the Big Bang, when you crunch the numbers, it doesn't allow for the creation of all sorts of elements like calcium and iron and all those things that we're made out of. So where did they come from? And for a long time, scientists were searching for this. Where did these things come from? And they eventually determined that the only place where these atoms could be created, because you need a just unbelievable amount of energy to change one atom into another, which needs to happen if you're going to create something like calcium or that kind of thing. So it happened. Now we know. When in the death throes of giant stars, when they collapse in upon themselves, they run out of hydrogen, which is what they're burning right now. Our sun is burning hydrogen. It collapses in on itself. Eventually, it runs out of hydrogen, and then it starts burning helium, and it heats up even more. And then it collapses in itself. The gravity and the heat are so great that the conditions are right to create the next element. And it goes through this series of processes, burning its various elements, and then it just collapses in on itself, and if it's a certain size, it explodes. And in that explosion, it creates more matter, more elements. So that's the stuff then that gets strewn out into space, and it becomes planets, and it becomes Earths, and it becomes us. No question about it. I mean, that just blows my mind, So here we are the matter that Earth is made out of. We are awake and aware, and we're having a church service right now. And we're celebrating this fact that we didn't really know for most of our time on Earth. So now we can celebrate that fact. We are made in a real way out of starlight. I mean, a poet would say that, right? We are made out of that starlight, and we are indeed made of energy. Einstein said that. So these are the things I love to at least try to write songs about. In addition to the fact that we're made out of star stuff, we're also made out of sunlight. Sunlight comes in pouring its energy every single day onto our planet, and the food that we eat comes from photosynthesis, which is something life invented to make food out of sunlight. So we eat those plants, or we eat the animals that eat those plants. The sun is what we are arguably made out of, the energy from the sun. So those two ideas, this is a much longer intro than I had intended, and I apologize for that. So those two ideas for me are spiritual ideas. You know, you take the science and how can we learn and celebrate and sort of build our spirituality on these ideas and orient ourselves toward these truths. So, okay, I'll stop talking now. So this song is a little meditation called The Morning. See how the night is over, the dew is on the clover, the first light in the sky is forming. No foe am I afraid of, no force, for I am made of the same light that made the morning. See it come, the sun triumphant, splendid as 1,000 trumpets, rising on the rooftops and the trees, sweeping out the evening shadows, giving out its gleaming gold for free. I can't hold on to sorrow, it's always gone tomorrow, fading away at the first bird calling. There is hate, but there is more love, I know, for I am born of the same light that made the morning. So in the eastern sky you'll find me at the break of day, when I'll be back again to make another start, coaxing open morning glories, telling hopeful stories of the heart. See how the night is over, the dew is on the clover, the first light in the sky is forming. No foe am I afraid of, no force, for I am made of the same light that made the morning. The same light that made the morning.
Thank you, Pete. That was beautiful. Oh, so mystical. All right. Now I want to move into our prayer time. Um, so are there prayers or concerns that you have today that you'd like to share during our prayer time? Let us now have this version of the Lord's Prayer. Let us pray together. Our Creator, throughout the heavens, hallowed be thy flame. In a trillion suns, thy will be done. In the tiniest cell, thy kingdom comes. Give us each day a bird in flight, a flower's perfume, a bright star's light, and lead us not on a path of greed, but teach us to tread lightly, take only what we need. For ours is the journey from ignorance to understanding, from separateness to oneness, together with you, the universe, the energy, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And as always, grateful for all of us who respond to God's love by giving money and pledges to this church so that we can continue. Let us ask God's blessing on our gifts in this prayer. Gracious God, we seek to follow you in this trying time with faith, hope, and love. And we seek to manifest these with our lives, our gifts, and our love for each other and your precious world. In Christ, amen. Now, are there any announcements that any of you have? All right, our going out song is by Peter, and given all that is weighing us down and all that challenges us and that we worry about and grieve about, we can always ask the question, can't we? What if love? What if love were the activating force in all of our lives? So, Pete, if you want to say anything about this beautiful song.
Yes, yes. So this song is called "What If Love," and it has again a little part for you if you so choose to sing along. The chorus goes like this. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get oriented to the key here. So your part is an echo to mine, the first couple lines, and then we sing the third line together. So I sing, here's what I sing. What if love, what if love, what if love is all it was? Like that. And so your part would go, I sing, what if love? And you go, what if love? And I go, what if love? What if love? What if love is all it was? We sing that part together. So anyway, I'll let you all decide whether you want to sing. No worries either way. But let's play the song here. Science has revealed at last what happened in the distant past, back in the beginning of time. But from what the cosmos came, back before the great Big Bang, is finding more hard to describe. Could be anybody's guess. So is it crazy to suggest, what if love, what if love, what if love, what if love is all it was? What if love, what if love, what if love is all it was? And what if that love still sings, is still alive in everything, moving through the whole universe, rising in light and dark, hiding in the smallest part, burning like a flame that always burns, like the atoms, like the air, invisible but everywhere. What if love, what if love, what if love is all it was? What if love, what if love, what if love is all it was? What if love were the organizing force by which the beauty of the world emerged, that turned, joined the particles into molecules and living cells and redwood trees and bees and birds? What if to act on love's behalf, to practice kindness, was the most natural thing of all? Then when we feel undone, we're sick because we've been spun around on the wheel of despair. We could just breathe it in, reach for that source again, reach out to what's already there. The mystery from whence we came. Just for a song, let's give it a name. What if love, what if love, what if love is all it was? What if love, what if love, what if love is all it was?
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, all. It was a joy to be with you all.
Thank you so much. So, while you're having your imaginary Joyce coffee, if there's anybody that would like to ask Peter anything or comment on any of his songs or anything like that, this would be a time you could do that.
You could always also question my science, which real scientists often do after I play. Come up and correct me. But any questions, or no worries if not, but we thought we'd just, make that available if you have thoughts or questions or comments or whatever.
Peter, let us know how we can find your music, perhaps.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you calling the business person out of me, because it's not a very big part of me, unfortunately. Yes, so petermayer.net is my website. Think of me as Peter the fisherman with the net. The reason I say that is because there's another Peter Mayer at .com, and I mean, for the last 30 years, folks have confused the two of us. So I try hard to just clarify that. So petermayer.net. And yeah, you can find me there and download or order music, or, I'm not really playing much these days, live shows, really nothing, again, because of the resurgence of COVID this fall. But I do live streaming every couple months and such. I'll be doing that in October again. So anyway, and I need to update my website about that. But anyway, I'll do that, and you can find me there. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, and just to tag on to that, it's just amazing how prolific this guy has been. There's so many albums he has done, and all of them are filled with musical journeys to wonder and about the world that we live in. And so that it's almost embarrassing to have Pete Mayer come and then only sing 6 or 8 songs because I mean, when you look
Yeah.
at the amount of beautiful music he's made, I just want you all to know, be able to experience all of it at one time. You can't do that, but
I know that if I would have sang several more, I probably would have been the only one left in the service at some point. But thanks, Glenn.
I would have been here, man.
Yeah, okay, it would have been me and you.
Speaking of that, can't you get your music on Spotify? For people that have Spotify, I think all your albums are on that from what I saw.
Yes, thanks, Jeremy. Yes, indeed. Spotify is available for that too.
Okay. Great.
And if you go to Spotify, I think it is Spotify, there's a really great looking picture of me from about 25 years ago with long hair. It is me. You may get there and think I'm in the wrong place, but no, you're in the right place. It's just not me anymore. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for mentioning that.
Is it not you anymore, Pete, because it's not your style or your hair stopped growing?
I just can't have the long hair anymore, nor would I really wish to, I don't think. But you know, if you want the sexy me, go there. Yeah.
Okay.
I cut my hair off after about 10 years. I had it long like that, and then I cut it off, and I surprised my dad. You know, I didn't tell him I was going to do it, and I came home, and I saw the love return to his eyes. I could see it.
That's funny.
Peter, is all your music about the environment or about justice issues pretty much?
Well, no, I you know, write lighthearted things too, and also, oh, I don't know, things about, yeah, just you know, things in life that occur to me, songs about parenting, kind of funny, light songs about various things. I do find that I can't, you know, it's important for me to, if I'm doing a full performance show length, I just can't sing all serious stuff because not I mean, for the sake of the audience too. I just don't think any of us or few of us are wired to like
Pete,
be too serious.
Peter, I don't want to put you on the spot, and if you can't do this, it's okay. But you got a whole bunch of grandparents and people from a generation who remember Dr. Seuss. So I don't know if you can do Dr. Seuss's On the Loose.
I'd be happy to if y'all. Maybe we will be the last two on, Gwen. If you keep asking for requests, maybe.
But this one is so funny. This is Peter would always do this as part of the children's time. So anyway, since I know all of you have bought copious amounts of books for Dr. Seuss for your grandchildren, I thought you might enjoy this one.
Yes, well, yes. So I do. Okay, I'm just looking for a capo. Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so I do write, you know, lighter things too, and try to take myself not too seriously. But anyway, yeah. So this is a song inspired by Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss's work. And the chorus, you know, again, I think it's kind of almost silly for me to say on Zoom, like, hey, sing along. It's just my nature, because you play live shows, yeah, and you're used to that energy and you want to sing together. But for whatever it's worth, I'll just tell you where I usually invite people to sing, but you don't have to, of course. But it's oh yeah, and let me, with my device here, I have an iPad with all my lyrics in it, and my lyrics are the first things to leave my brain. So I try to have them in front of me.
Well, no one here can relate to that at all, Pete. Yeah.
So Then the line, the recurring line in here in this song is, then Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain. It's a list of things that, if they're true, they are indication that Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain. And the whole song is just a list of things in different Dr. Seuss books. And so, then what I usually invite people to do is again sort of an echo. Then Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain, in your brain, in your brain, in your brain. So there's like three times, not just once or twice. You have to sing it three times for no apparent reason. So anyway, it goes like this. Then Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain, in your brain, in your brain, in your brain. Okay, that's it. So here we go. If you believe that you're in need of a thneed, if you can see an elephant in your tree, if your umbrella gets wet with oobleck instead of rain, then Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain, in your brain, in your brain, in your brain. If you notice a drum-tummied snum talking to a flu boober bab, boober bubs, and you tell the crazy news to your friend Foo-Foo the Snoo, then Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain, in your brain, in your brain, in your brain. If all those who's are irritating you again, ringing jinglers and tar tinkers in your head, if you don't need a broom to clean your room, instead you tend to use a super zuper flooper doo. If you answer your whispermophone to take a call from a jellyfish named Jimbo Jones, and then you leap into your Skeagle mobile and drive away, then Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain, in your brain, in your brain. If the world you're living in is really kind of strange, and you've decided it's a bit more fun that way, and if you find in every story that there's a lesson there for you, oh, then I'm afraid it's true. If you take your eggs sunny side up and green, if you make up silly rhymes when you speak, if you shout out hooray for Diffin' Doofer Day, then Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain, in your brain, in your brain, in your Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain, in your brain, in your brain, in your Dr. Seuss is on the loose in your brain, 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 in your brain. Thanks.
You could tell that he had two daughters that he had become acquainted with Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, it's just been a joy and a privilege to be with you all today. Thank you, Gwen, so much for having me. I just, it's just wonderful to work with you and to see you again. And thanks to all of you for clearly the good work that you're all doing in the world. I think it's interesting how oftentimes our faith sometimes does lead us to separation instead of to love, you know. And I clearly this church that you're all part of is doing the work of love, and boy, do we all need that in the world. So I'm just very touched to be invited in to meet you all, and I wish you all the best going forward in our crazy COVID time. I have to say, I enjoy the fact that I can connect with you all this way still, it's been an amazing thing to still be able to see each other's faces and to join together in worship in spite of our times. So, but it'd be nice to see folks face to face too. So anyway, I wish you all the best on your own journey as a community.
Thank you, Peter. All right, everyone. Many blessings on you and love. And hopefully we'll see everybody next week.